Thrilled to be here with you today as the Strategic Programs Coordinator at Skilling Future. Let me talk a little bit about the organization. Basically, our vision is to reimagine education for an AI-powered world, that is to lead the global transformation of education by seamlessly integrating innovative technologies, fostering inclusivity, and empowering individuals to become lifelong learners, creative thinkers, and ethical change makers in an AI-driven world. In a world where technology is evolving by the hour and the future of seems to shift just as quickly, one question has become really very crucial. That is, how can we prepare our learners for a world we can barely imagine? And this is exactly what brings us uh, here today and to basically to this series. At Skilling Future, we are not just observing the transformation in education, we're actively shaping it. We're a dynamic team of educators from across the globe who are working towards integrating AI, ethic, and working towards interdisciplinary project-based learning and providing innovative solutions. Our mission is to empower learners, educators, and communities with the tools, strategies needed to thrive in a rapidly evolving digital world by fostering creativity, inclusivity, and lifelong learning. Basically, aim to build a brighter, more sustainable future for all. Let me talk a little bit about my team. Skilling Future's vision is to has brought to life by an exceptional international team of 13 educational innovators who are redefining learning from the modern world. Our dynamic team members are from Pakistan, USA, UAE, Canada, Greece, Spain, Italy, Ireland, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, and Lebanon. And the one of the best things about the team is that it is not only combining expertise but bringing in the cultural and multi-dimensional create philosophies and multicultural perspectives within the team. That is what gives our team and what gives our programs a unique, basically a unique flavor. Um, let's talk a little bit about what we offer. We basically are working towards designing AI-powered learning tools that would include different chatbots, interactive education experiences, interdisciplinary PBL projects that integrate SDGs and UNESCO AI competency frameworks, training programs with the amazing team that we have. There are training programs that cater to multiple perspectives and languages as well. AI curriculum development, again, age appropriate, and then looking into that in what way we can offer customized solutions for your context. Consultancy services, then again, looking into what your context, what is it that your classroom and your learners basically, or your educational setting or your organization basically requires. Then we also have an AI powered roadmap that is, and then a weekly excellence series that we have on our LinkedIn. Stay connected with us so that you'll get to see what is it that we're working with each and every week. One of our team members, basically share articles, videos, and this series is also a part of that excellence series. Now, let me introduce you to the speaker for today's workshop. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce today's workshop facilitator, Nadine Baki. Nadine joins us as an international curriculum and stream specialist at Skilling Future, bringing a wealth of expertise and an innovative vision for education. With an extensive experience working across leading global curricula, including US, IB, SABIS, and Cambridge, Nadine has dedicated her career to empowering educators and designing programs that inspire creativity and critical thinking. She's a passionate advocate for STREAM education, a dynamic interdisciplinary approach integrating science, technology, robotics, engineering, arts, and mathematics to equip students with the skills they definitely need for the future. Today, she will lead us through an engaging session that reflects her commitment to practical, hands-on learning. Her approach to seamlessly blend international best practices with actionable strategies that educators can adapt to their unique classroom. Nadine, the virtual floor is yours to guide us through this transformative workshop.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you, Sana, for the introduction. Hi, everyone, and welcome to my workshop. I hope that you're gonna enjoy it, learn from it, and we're ready, as Sana said, to share best practices throughout our experience with you. I will share my screen and we will start the presentation. I'm gonna start first of all telling you about my agenda for today's session. Sana already did the first part, which is introducing me, but I will share with you my LinkedIn so you can connect with me, we can connect and we can share best practices. The core session, it will be STREAM and PBL concepts and tools, defining STREAM, project-based learning, the steps to implement STREAM and project-based learning in your schools, whatever curriculum you're teaching, IB, SABIS, UK or US, AI tools for STEAM and PBL, and hands-on practice and collaboration. And at the end, I will be ready to receive your questions if you have some questions for me. So as Sana already introduced myself, here you have the QR code if you'd like to connect with me through LinkedIn and have some chat with me. It's good to connect with other educators, leaders, and policymakers. I will start first of all, what is STREAM and what is project-based learning and how they are connected to each other. STREAM, it's how we are integrating subjects together, such as science, technology, robotics, engineering, art, and mathematics in order to solve problems, in order to support our students, especially nowadays. We are in the rapid change and we have to educate our students in order to be ready for the future. So that's why STREAM, I would say it started STEM, and then STEAM, and nowadays it's a STREAM where there is integration of robotics furthermore. It depends again to the school if they'd like to do STEM or STEAM or STREAM. So it's not mandatory, but throughout this session, I'll explain for you how all these aspects would support our students to be happy in their learning, engaged, innovative, creative, in order to solve world challenges. Both of them, STREAM and project-based learning, start from a problem or a challenge that we are facing in our world nowadays. So as a teacher, we have to sit together, brainstorm different subjects together, and then come up with a plan, with a project that we're gonna share it with our students and let them enjoy learning. As an educator, I would say most of the time, students are telling me, Miss, why are we learning this? How am I using this skill in the real life? In my daily life. Yes, here through STREAM and project-based learning, you are teaching students how are they going to use the skills learned in their normal subject lessons to solve problems. So that's a summary of STREAM and project-based learning. Again, both of them would guide our students to become innovative, to be creative, to think critically, and to foster technical and innovative skills. Why it is important to foster multidisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary approach by itself through STREAM, you are merging science skills with technology, with mathematics, with engineering, and nowadays with robotics in order to create a project, successful project, to succeed in the project. Now, for project-based learning, you can do it only between 2 subjects. It can be between 3 subjects. It depends how is the structure of your project-based learning. But again, I would say both of them are aiming to solve a challenge, a problem, or it starts from a problem and guides students to find a solution for that. It is enhancing problem-solving skills because it is engaging the students in projects that span various subjects, fosters creativity and adaptive thinking. It is helping them to tackle complex challenges with innovative solutions. The interconnected thinking, students will explore the relationship between different areas, as I mentioned earlier. They develop a deeper understanding of how systems interact together, which is essential for addressing global issues like sustainability and technological change. So, as I mentioned earlier, and I will keep mentioning throughout my presentation, both of them are guiding and supporting our students in order to apply the skills learned inside the class and outside of the class. I wanted to show you an example about that I've done it in the school. It is saving for a sustainable future. Does money really buy happiness? You would say, does money really buy happiness? How is it linked to sustainability? I'll explain for you how is it linked to sustainability. This STREAM project, it started by students were learning algebra and mathematics, and they were learning about energy efficiency in sciences. And we came up, the teachers together, science and the design teacher, art and mathematics, we came up with a project to support our students to understand, because when they were learning algebra is not a nice lesson to learn at school. And students were telling, oh, how what I will benefit from this algebra lesson. So we said, let them enjoy learning and let us come up with that project. So the science behind this one, it was, as I mentioned, energy efficiency. They had to analyze the environmental impact of water waste and energy consumption. And they had to calculate the amount of water wasted from leaking faucets and the energy saved by switching to LED light bulbs. The technology that was used in this one, they were using automated sensors in order to check, calculate and measure the light intensity. As you see here in this picture, the students were checking the intensity of the light of different light bulbs in order to decide which light bulb is the best to be used in order to save energy. Robotics, they were using incorporated robotic sensors for real-time data. So after they came up with a solution, they created robotics in order to control that wastage. Engineering, as you know, in engineering, they have to go through the design thinking cycle. They have to think, test, create the prototype, test, and then retest, and then redesign it, and then share their findings. Art, they had to create engaging visual presentations in order to explain what did they do, the research behind it. Again, when I'm saying about research, it means they have to cite their work, from where they get this research. It's not one source, and it should be a reputable resource. The mathematics behind it, they had to calculate, represent their data in an algebraic equation, then in a statistical way, and then they had to compare with, I would say here, because I'm in UAE, we have doable, so they had to compare it with doable. How much did they save by shifting to LED light bulbs? And as you see throughout this small project, or that innovative project, the students learned, combined, interconnect between subjects at the same time, learned why am I learning this in science? Why am I learning this in mathematics to solve a real life context? But it doesn't stop here, because we don't want only students to find a solution or to do this project. No, it should go into sharing their findings with their parents. So the community involvement. So here we invited parents, and the students explained to the parents how, what did they find in their project, and how is it linked and related to saving money. So some parents, I remember during this project, some parents were telling me, why this is the title of the project. I told them, I will not say anything. You can ask your son or your daughter. So when they attended and they understood how much a small amount of water, if they fixed it through robotics or through sensors, how much money do they save, and they understood that yes, it is to save money and to become a sustainable leader. So it was like a loop, I would say, from teacher to student to parents and then to community. So this is how we're educating our students in order to share their best practices with the community to support and to solve a big problem or a challenge that all of us were facing it nowadays. Another example that I want to share about it, but before I share about it, I want to say how the STREAM program should happen. All the time, the STREAM should start from a meeting between the teachers of the same grade. So it's like, I would say horizontal, you have vertical alignment in curriculum, and then you have vertical alignment. It's where the grade level teachers sit together, discuss, I'm teaching this in mathematics, this in Arabic, this in English, this in sciences, this is in art, this is in design, and they decide together, are we going to do a STREAM project or are we going to do a project-based learning? And they structure the activity for the students in order to let the students enjoy learning, not only learn, write on a paper, solve questions, solve tasks without understanding the message behind these lessons. So it's very important to start first of all with the curriculum integration, and then like unpack the curriculum together as a team and come up with innovative ideas. I wanted to share some of the projects that the students did this year. For example, that was a STREAM project that we did in term 1, where grade 6 were asked to do a smart hybrid renewable energy system, grade 7 sustainable tiny home project, grade 8 energy efficient home with smart agriculture. I'll tell you the small message behind it. Grade 6 in science, they were learning about renewable and non-renewable resources, so we came up with that project. Grade 7, they were learning about chemistry, the chemical behind it, so they had to create home where they have to maintain, especially in UAE, it's very hot, so they had to build home that are resistant to heat. So they came up with nice projects. And grade 8 energy efficiency, they were learning about energy efficiency, and that's the project that they had to do. Again, those 5 steps that I mentioned them in this slide are very important, where you allow students to brainstorm, create teams, do research. Do not create for them the teams, because it's very important, the collaboration, that the students feel that I am comfortable to work with that person. They come up with excellent ideas. Let them team together. Let them do the research. Don't give them the website or the paper or the research paper. Let them do the research. You're improving their research skills. Allocate sufficient time for design, construction, and testing phases, because as you know, they have to go through the design cycle and they have to test, fix their prototype, and then retest again until they come up with the excellent project or the excellent working project, I would say. Encourage collaboration and peer learning among students. Provide regular checking and guidance throughout the project. As educators, we have to make sure we don't just throw the project on our students. No, we have to make check-in with our students, check. Do you need help? Where are you? Can you share with me? What did you find out? Don't give answers. Again, suggestions or guidance you can give, but don't give, no, you have to do that. Organize a final presentation or exhibition for students' projects. Make it how I exhibit this one. It was the exhibition, first of all, between students, where they exhibited inside the school with other classes or other grades, sharing their findings. And then it goes in a bigger scale, sharing it with parents so they know what their kids are learning, what did they arrive to, what did they discover. As you see here in these pictures in the slides, for example, I can speak about that project. In this project, the students came up with a smart home, smart agriculture. So they used robotics and sensors in order to control the water usage for agriculture. And this is reducing water waste. And at the same time, they were putting solar panels in order to conduct electricity inside the house. You know, our students are not like us. They think better. They come up with better solutions. So that's why leave them to come up with these solutions. Don't tell them this is what you have to do. No, give the title, let them think, let them come up with ideas. And it's very important to be their own idea, not getting it from website or someone is telling them this. It should be their own idea. In this one, I want to show you the document that it was shared with students, so you know exactly how is it structured and how do you structure a STREAM project for students. How do you expect them to understand, and what's the rubric that they are going to assess? You will tell me about the rubric. The STREAM, it doesn't have one rubric, or the project-based learning doesn't have one rubric, because it depends on what are you expecting the students to do in that project. That's how you structure the rubric. But there are some aspects, yes, you have to assess the students on. So I'll take you with one of the projects. For example, I'm taking for you grade 6 that it was hybrid wind and solar power system. You have to share the learning objectives with the students. Learning objectives should contain what skills are they using in different different subjects. For example, from science perspective, from math perspective, from a design perspective, or engineering and robotics. It depends on the school. If you are doing design classes that contain robotics and ICT, or separate classes for robotics and engineering. So again, I would say it goes back to the school system. How are you conducting your lessons? And the sustainability awareness, because they have to link it to SDG goals. We mentioned for them the SDG goals that they have to refer to in their presentation or in their project, the objectives, and the project components. What's the concept introduction? What is it about? The materials needed, if they need these materials, if they think for other materials, we would share. Again, it depends, because we have to cater for all students' needs. Some students needed some more guidance. Like some students would tell you, Miss, but I need more information. I need to know what materials I need to do, even with the research. So again, you have to cater for all students' needs if they need support in that project. The robotic part, if some students don't know that I need to use Quarky in that one, how to code a Quarky. Here, the ICT teacher would play the role with the students. The mathematics perspective, how to do their model. And then I would go down the extra support for the science teacher, how to support the students inside the class, what information. It's very important from a science perspective that I'm a science teacher, for example, I have to make sure that my students understand this in order to succeed in their project, because they are going to use what the teacher is going to teach them. And as you see here, I gave the IVDV. As you know, science, it starts with hypothesis and variables next. So here I mentioned for the teacher the IVDV, but again, we mentioned also for other students who are high achievers, they can come up with their own independent variable and dependent variable. So again, it depends on the student's level, the teacher, and how do you want the students to conduct it. I want to scroll down to the rubric to show you how the rubric would be. So because we're in an IB school, we did it out of according to levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As American, you can do it as percentage. You decide how do you want to do it. You want to do it words, expert, advanced, meeting expectation, not meeting expectation. You decide how do you want to do the rubric, but at the same time, you have to make sure how you structure the rubric so students would know at the end of the project they are assessed on what. We have to make it clear for every student so they know we're fair in the judgment and we are judging according to a rubric. I will continue. I wanted to show you some samples of curriculum because I know now from my attendees, some of them are working in an American curriculum, some of them IB, some of them UK. So just to show you how is the allocation or how are you going to map the curriculum together, I took an example of grade 8 in an American curriculum. So as you know, it's Common Core for mathematics. It depends if you're following Common Core California or different. Next Generation Science Standard, the STEAM project that would come, and the resources that they needed. Structuring a curriculum from the beginning of the year and decide on what are we expecting the students to do throughout this year. That's very important from a STREAM perspective or project-based learning. Do not come up suddenly with the STREAM project or the project-based learning and then put it in action. No, brainstorm with the teacher, come up with the activity, and then share it with teachers and let the teachers start applying or conducting these their lessons in order to prepare the students to succeed in their projects. Another example of British curriculum, if how to align the curriculum to come up with projects for IB. Here I break it down in the IB curriculum because in IB we have different criteria. If I am in the MYP, if I'm speaking from MYP perspective, how is it linked to different criteria or different objectives in science and mathematics, design, art? So the teachers would understand what do they explain for their students to prepare them. And again, I would say ATL skills, research, which is the research, critical thinking, communication, it's common for STEAM and for project-based learning. And the IB learner profile, it can be inquirer, thinker, and reflective. I read through the comment when I was looking at your at the document that you filled it for me. You were asking how can we integrate AI in the STREAM and project-based learning. So I created this chart in order to support you and tell you what am I using. And later on throughout our sessions, as Sana started, there are more professional development, there are more consultation, there are more workshops that would help you. We dig deeper into each aspect of these. So AI as a collaborator, you can use tools like ChatGPT, Magic School, Brisk Teaching, OpenAI Codex to let the students brainstorm and interact and write interactive feedback for the students. Integrating AI into STREAM by using AI data analysis in energy saving projects and sustainability models, for example, by using Tableau AI for data visualization, Google Earth Engineering, IBM Watson Studio for prediction. Those are good websites to be used for integration between AI into STREAM. The other one, AI in project-based learning, they can use Edmodo, AI for collaboration, Canva for education. Canva for education, it can be used for STREAM and for project-based learning because their final presentation, it can be done through Canva. Microsoft AI Builder, and there are other websites, and just these I came up with because that's what I'm using now. AI and sustainability. Explore AI-driven analysis for environmental projects to foster societal impact. For example, case study, AI-assisted cost-benefit analysis of solar panels. So they would learn more about, they would read more case studies about the problem that they are solving, and they would understand furthermore what are they supposed to do and what solution they have to come up with. Practical AI tools for STREAM, it can be ChatGPT. Later on, inshallah, we will share with you different chatbots that would support, and that can be done from, that is done from one of our colleagues. Zoe AI, which is a 24/7 AI study body for student support. For example, a student that does not understand what does it mean energy efficiency, so they can go and get more information from there. Brisk teaching, it is to attract students and support students, to let them brainstorm, to hook, to make a debate questions or debate between students. And then Desmo's AI, it's very good for mathematical representation and graphical representation. Educational landscape, how AI fosters adaptability in a rapidly changing world and supports ethical education. Again, we have to stop on ethical usage of AI. And it's very important wherever the students are getting information from research, from ChatGPT, from any online website or platform, they have to reference it and make sure that everything is clear for whoever is grading them. Now it's time for collaboration. I would like to check what you get from me. How are you going to create a STREAM project or project-based learning? You decide as a team you want to do project-based learning or STREAM project, and how to come up with a plan, brainstorm, and inshallah throughout this session, now the collaborative session, I can give you more ideas on how to structure a STREAM and project-based learning. So it is, imagine you're tasked with reducing energy consumption in your school. Collaborate to develop a STREAM or project-based learning to address this issue. So I would check with Sana first if we're going to do it in that chat or we're going to do it.
Let's do it in the chat.
Okay, so I need you, if that's possible, to share a problem, for example, that you're facing in your school and you'd like to solve it, and let us brainstorm together on how can we come up with project-based learning for the students. But let us decide what's the problem, which grade level are you going to do, what topics are we going to involve, and then we come up with a project. So who's going to start?
So, Nadine, I had one question that was basically regarding, and then you said that sometimes there is this apprehension that that students have, that, okay, why are we doing this project? How does it actually help us with the real world? So, what do you usually do to help students overcome that? Because again, with any new thing that they're trying to do, they're more or less like, okay, why do we need to do it? So how do you address the why of this approach?
Usually, to address the why, it is through the STREAM and the project-based learning, because if students are not understanding why am I learning this and linking it to real life context, they won't understand the why behind it. So that's why the project-based learning and the STREAM projects are coming are created or are done in order to support our students to understand the why behind learning this skill or this lesson in different subjects.
Okay. And would STREAM also work for contexts and institutes where resources are, where they do not have a lot of resources? Would this approach also work for them?
I would say about my experience, as I said, I started with a STEM. Yes, we didn't have robotics, we didn't have kits, we didn't have enough resources, but we did it like a simple STEM project. Like, for example, I would say the project that the students did measuring the immergible. In measuring the immergible, the students were learning also again algebraic equation, and they had to they told me, why are we learning this if I want to become an engineer? And I told them, let us try to do, because we have Burj Khalifa here. And I told them, okay, let us know how can we measure the height of Burj Khalifa, but we're not engineer. So they came up with a plan that they created a simple measuring tool. I can show you a picture of it one sec. Let me stop
That's a really
sharing.
good element
So
that, okay,
they came up with simple tool that they used it in order to measure the immergible. So this is how I linked it. Like whatever they are learning, they are applying it.
applying. Okay. That's really good. And I do think
That's
so
if we
where,
don't have enough
yeah,
resources, Sana. But if the school is able to purchase those robotics, those quirky, those coding, those sensors, that will enhance more the project. But again, I said it at the beginning of my meeting, and I will continue saying that yes, it depends on the resources available. And as teachers, you can come up with any simple project to let the students understand the message behind every skill that they are learning in class.
okay, that addresses the question that, okay, at times people would have that, okay, with STREAM, it means robotics, it means that, okay, STEAM or STREAM, we would need very good resources. We need to have updated tech for it to be applicable. So this means that, okay, this is a framework that, again, it requires more of a collaborative mindset from the teachers. It requires a more solution-oriented approach and bringing in students and letting them experiment with things. Okay,
True.
that's great.
Okay. And any question?
Um, I think you can proceed with the activities, and then we can
Yes.
take about questions. Yeah.
So let us start. Would you like? So let us share the brisk brainstorm so they can
Okay.
brainstorm alone. I would share the brisk activity. It's in the chat. Have a chat with brisk, brainstorm with brisk, and let us discuss together again. What did you find out? What solution and what problem are you facing creating a STREAM project?
Mhm. This is the updated link. Okay, I've shared an updated link, the earlier one. Yeah. Everyone kindly either scan it or go towards the link that I have posted, and you would be good to go.
Please let me know if you're facing problem with that chat so I can help you throughout your discussion with Brisk.
Sana, keep on sharing the link, Nadine.
Okay,
Yeah, so that we can scan it as well.
it is in
Yeah, this one.
the chat as well. I am testing the tool alongside. Okay, if anyone is facing any issue with connecting to Brisk Boost activity, just let us know and
It's
we will
really
walk you through
interesting.
it.
It's really interesting. Like
Yeah.
I have asked him that in my institution we are facing like shortage of resources, like some tech resources. For example, robotics facility is not available. So tell us, well, this is something really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. And then I have also told it that teachers lack sufficient skills because obviously, for not only for designing, developing, conducting, and then evaluating these projects. So all of these steps they require certain skill set. So Nadine, we would love to have you in our future sessions as well, because again, this is something, this is the future basically. I would like to say, and Stream is so powerful that if we combine it with AI, that is the thing which everyone now is looking for, and that thing is going to I can say that that thing is going to add value to no matter which education system our educators are belonging, whether they are teaching the local curricula, whether they are like teaching UK curriculum, American curriculum, or any sort of curriculum, IB any sort of. I think this is the need of our, and the sooner school systems and different curriculum systems adopt this stream and PBL and AI, I think it will be better because that's how we will be able to bridge the gap. Otherwise, I'm not sure that how things will be like. Things are moving at a very fast pace. Um,
Actually, this is what prepares our students for future. This is how we're preparing our students through STEAM and through project-based learning. Shahida, you mentioned that you were discussing about the skills for teachers and the resources that are not available in schools. That's
mm,
exactly what I put in the questions, and I was expecting some of the attendees to ask these questions because those are common questions for different schools.
mm,
It's very important to understand the stream behind, like how to structure a stream curriculum. Stream, it's not only robotics, it's not only about competition or a robot that would work by itself or something. No, it's a mission. It's a combination of different subjects. It's interdisciplinary, it's multidisciplinary, I would say, where all the subjects work together to let the students succeed. So that's the important message I want to send it in my workshop today. That stream, it's not only robotic, it's curriculum. It's a full curriculum that should be done nowadays in most schools in order to prepare our students for future.
mm. So
How much of
I
a time would you advise uh, teachers who are working together that, okay, this is an optimal time for planning? And then with execution, how much of a flexibility or open-mindedness should they have with respect to execution and what particular challenges could they face?
Like stream a project or project-based learning, it can go through 4 weeks to 5 weeks, but
Mm,
again, it depends on like sometimes there are assessments, they have to stop this, they don't want to,
mm,
still the assessment should be, they should work on it, the policymakers, that the students are still doing the normal assessment with a subject.
mm,
That's how they structure it. So maybe they will extend it for more than 5 weeks because there is assessment, so they don't want to disturb the assessment procedure. Uh, Regarding the resources that they may face, like for example, if a student came up with a project and they say, Miss or Mister, we need these resources, and these resources are not available in the school, you have to ask the student to think for alternative resource. Every time there is alternative resource that it's not expensive or It can be done from recyclable materials. They can use something that they have it at home, technical or electricity or anything, any material they have it at home that they are not using it, and they can get some parts from it. So it's like about guiding students. If you don't find this resource, it's fine. There is an alternative way. There is an alternative plan that we can do it, and you can succeed in your project. The important thing is to keep encouraging the students, even if they arrive to a level they would say, Mister, I feel that I'm not going to succeed in that project. Keep encouraging them and keep guiding them on a different way, on a different maybe you can tell them, you can, if suggestions, just suggest for them and support them.
Okay. So Nadine, you have also mentioned about ethical considerations while I'm interacting with the Brisk Boost, and you have mentioned the objectives. So I would like you to talk about it, how we can ensure the responsible use of ethical use of these tools, because again, this is a two-way sword. So how would you like to address that? And another, request is also keep an eye on the in the chat. I think Jerry has also commented. So yeah, first answer this and then address what Jerry has written in the chat. Thank you.
So Jerry said a problem that some schools will face is a lack of familiarity amongst their teacher interdisciplinary. Yes, it is that's why I say it's all the time they should have this brainstorming time where they sit together, share their expertise. Every teacher has her own or his own expertise in the domain that they are teaching. But we have the most important thing is we have to have an open mind. So accept other alternative, accept other perspectives. And I'm confident that all of us, we're educators and we're learning. We keep learning. It's very nice to see how English, it's linked to history, how mathematics, it's linked to sciences. And like this, we grow together as educators and we help and support our students for future. Regarding your question about AI ethical use, it's a part of the rubric criteria that you're going to assess the students with. It's very important to make it clear for the students that you are assessed on originality, on your own project. Do not copy that project from, because there is a judgment if it's original work or if it's not original work. That's why the teachers should, from the school, have their AI ethical expectation for their students, discuss with them how do they cite their work, how to reference their work. And at the end, it's not only about citation and referencing. When you're speaking STREAM or project-based learning, it means it should be original work. It should be something new, innovative, creative, that no one arrived to that solution. Yes, they can research ideas, they can research project that was done in different places, but they have to add their touch to it in order to let it better my own project, my own findings. So that's how you judge the students. Again, I would say there is a judgment, there is a criteria that students will be assessed on the AI ethical usage of different platforms.
Another important question here also arises that okay, lack of resources is one thing, lack of maybe a requisite skill set in teachers is another aspect. But how do you address, because you are also IB programs coordinator at your institution, so how do you address this issue of non-willingness by some of the teachers sometimes, who are not willing to learn new things or who are not willing to experiment because they find it quite difficult to come out of their comfort zone? So how as a leader you are handling such things?
That's what I mentioned. We have as educators to be an open-minded, like we are learning, we keep learning. Everyone is still learning. We are learning. The education is growing. So in this situation, I would say professional development is very important. Hand in hand, working hand in hand. It's not about I know, you don't know. No, we know. we work together. Teamwork is very important. Collaborative work is very important between teachers. Sharing best practices between teachers, that would help also. Again, it goes back to the collaboration between teachers.
Kerry raises a really interesting point that it's also important to have a supportive structure in place, and then school leadership, how much school leadership plays a part in that. And a lot of time teachers do want to incorporate that they may not have the support from the administrators or from the school leadership available. That would be a little bit of a hindrance in that way. So how do we cater to that dynamic? That, okay, yes, can we have something that's more on a smaller base, that, okay, they try it in their classroom, they experiment it, so they feel like that, okay, yes, this is an idea that can work out, or the possibilities that are possible? Or does it have to be an extensive, all the time extensive project that different teachers have to be on board? Because again, similar to how school leadership is, not everybody would be open to the idea of investing time and with learning a new dynamic, or maybe testing a thing out in the middle of maybe their school year, because they'll be thinking about, okay, this is a time commitment. What if it doesn't work out? Our students' results are on the line, because a lot of time our performance is assessed also on the basis of the results that we are producing. So, is there a possibility that something is tried or experimented at a smaller scale for one teacher to apply it in their classroom and then see, oh, this is something interesting? And based on their results, they can maybe start convincing other teachers and then maybe their school leadership that, okay, this is an approach that can be tried out.
I would answer this in a short way.
Okay.
Yes, because again, it's a loop. Like, yes, mistakes might happen. A prototype wouldn't work, or experiment won't work, project won't work. It's fine, but you have to enhance it. You have to improve it. You have to find a solution for that. Again, brainstorming between teachers together, come up with a project. It's not only coming up with a project, you have to do that project. Maybe really, yes, as you said, Sana, that project won't work. It's not applicable with the resources we have it in the school. No, we have to be logic when we are creating and planning for these projects. We should know what is our end project should look like. What are we expecting our students to get by the end of this project? If we don't try it as teachers, we can't expect the students what to get at the end. And when you're creating the rubric or the criteria to assess the students on, you should create it in a way that you are already assessing these criteria to make sure these criteria are accessible or can the students succeed with. So again, yes, as teachers, when we're planning for any project, we have to test it first. We need to know what are the cons, what are the pros of that project, what can we face, what resources do we have in our school that students can use, so we don't conduct a project that it's difficult for some teachers. As you said, maybe some teachers really they are not aware and they can't conduct this project in their class according to their class. Maybe my expertise it's science, I don't know how to do mathematics. Here where the collaboration between the math teacher and the science teacher, the science teacher would help the math teacher and math teacher would help the science teacher to let this project be successful. Again, yes, brainstorming, planning together, collaboration, that's the important thing for such projects, either STREAM or project-based learning.
That's great. So here I would just like to ask Jerry, because he has an extensive leadership experience of 3 decades, and he has been not only directly supervising school, but he has been also being regional head of Southeast Asia. He has a vast experience. So Jerry, where do you see the role of leaders?
Leadership's key. It's critical, and it's a lot of the issues that Nadine has been referring to, I think emanate from potentially a lack of vision and mission. The school's got to be clear in its vision, mission, and values. And if we truly believe that this is the way forward, then that has got to be made clear to people, to their teaching staff. We've got to ensure that we make the training and the support and the CPD that's required available for our teachers if we want them to head down this pathway. It can't be just about bolt on anymore. It's got to be built in. So, which is why I'm a great believer in developing school curriculum, which is centered on the Sustainable Development Goals. That's your focus. And then everything else feeds into that. And it is an interdisciplinary approach, and it will take time, of course. But I suppose that's where things like my own custom GPT, which helps provide teachers with a framework rather than asking them to build a project from a blank sheet of paper where they don't have. It's not saying they don't have the skills, but they don't maybe have the experience of delivering such an approach to teaching and learning. And it would depend on what kind of style of curriculum and that they're coming from. I mean, I remember when I was teaching in IB schools, if you had teachers who came to you who were experienced in the IB philosophy, it was a lot easier to work with them initially to develop things like this. But if you were bringing in teachers who were perhaps coming from a British curriculum, for example, who had no experience of this, changing their mindset in itself was quite a challenging thing to do. So it's all about vision, mission, and values, and that's where the leadership team are key. They have to drive that. They have to drive that, and find ways of bringing their teachers on board with it. It's absolutely critical. I hope that helps.
I agree with you, Jerry, because again, it starts from the school, as I mentioned from the beginning. Yes, it starts from the school. How's the guide? What support are they going to give the teachers with? Professional development, and then the collaboration between teachers.
But it's even more than that, I think, Nadine. The school has got to believe in it. It's a philosophy. It's not just an approach to delivering curriculum. We have to have a belief in why we're teaching our young people. Why is this important? So the why is fundamental, and that's got to be driven. That's really got to be driven with a passion, So you need passionate leaders and passionate teachers who really believe that, for example, that when I was introducing this to one of our schools in Malaysia, I started off my discussion with the children by making an apology. I said, that I would like to apologize almost for the lack of consideration of my generation and perhaps the generation before me, because let's face it, we've not done our planet any favors, have we? You know, and so I honestly believe it's our responsibility as educators to equip our young people with the skills, understanding, and attributes to be able to resolve the issues that they're facing in this world, because we've put them in that situation and they're the ones that are going to have to be dealing with the consequences in the future. So I think the time has come that we can't ignore it any longer.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for your wise discussion. Yes, and we really agree. Thank you so much, Nadine, for an amazing session today. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Jerry, for
everyone.
giving your valuable contributions. We would love to have more of your sessions because, again, it is an extensive thing to do, and definitely would love to have more sessions from you. So now over to you, Sana, for the closing remarks.
I am going to share a feedback form. Kindly fill that up. It lets us know in what way this workshop was helpful, how is it that we can improve in the future, and then also it will make it easier for us to basically share your certificates. That will take 2 to 3 days, and then we'll be sending it to you. Yes,
I need
Ashwarya,
to
you
answer
have a
the
question?
question.
Ashwarya.
Yeah, I need to answer it. R is for robotics. Some schools would say it's for reading because there is a big part of reading literacy because they have to research, they have to refer to they have to refer to many research papers or case studies in order to solve that. But R, it goes into robotics.
At which point, Nadine, would you definitely would suggest at which grade level incorporation of AI for research, or at what point you would suggest them that okay, this is a point where you, for example, for brainstorming, they'll be like, or do you design, for example, similar to what you have for you shared with us, the Brisk Boost activity? Do you design something similar and then have more control over what students do and then achieve the learning objectives along the way when you design a project like this?
Uh, so you mean you're asking me from which grade level we would start with that,
Yes,
huh?
the incorporation of AI.
The incorporation of AI, I would start it from not less than grade 3 grade level, because from grade 3 the students would understand the usage of AI and what's the ethics behind it. That's what I suggest from my side. Again, it goes back to the school. What's their expectation? What's their AI framework? What's the policy that they put it for AI usage inside the school? So again, it goes back to the school. But from my point of view, I prefer to start training students from early age so they understand how do they use it in a correct way.
Okay. If there are any other questions, we would love to address those. Okay, I've shared the feedback form again. Please let us know in terms that, okay, how is it that we can improve for future sessions? We have another session in the upcoming week as well, and we will be posting about it on the Skilling Future LinkedIn page. Stay connected there so you would have a look at what other activities we are up to. During the week, we post about different things. We have this whole excellence series, and our amazing team always ends up sharing some amazing insights there which are workable at so many levels. So we would love to have you guys join us there as well.
Yeah, and one more
Thanks.
thing, Sana,
Yeah.
tell them also about our YouTube channel that we do have a lot of valuable sessions over there, and we are also going to, this session is also recorded, and we'll be putting this session on our YouTube channel. And
And
then,
we will be sharing a recording with them as well.
yeah.
No, I am going to share all of the links when I share them, when I send them the email for the certificate. I have shared the link for the page. So in the case if you're still not connected, kindly do join us there, follow us there, and share it with any other fellow educator or even students as well. Because and with any other person that you believe is invested in education, growth, professional development, personal development. So this is something we have this multidisciplinary vision, and then we are working towards ensuring that we reach different audiences and work towards providing solution not only for educators but also for parents, also for administrators, for students as well. Because our topmost priority at the moment is ensuring that everyone that people are ready for a world that we do not at the moment have any idea of what it's going to be. Because as said earlier, changes, the technology is changing very rapidly. Uh, Updates, the rapid updates that are upcoming, that makes us reassess, okay, this is what we learned earlier. How is it that we would do? What is it that we do? Marva will do that. We would also do that. Okay. And we will send an email as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Nadine, for your amazing and insightful workshop. It's always good to see different perspectives and in what way is it that we can apply frameworks within classrooms. One of the best things I believe about the framework that you shared was that it's not always about high resources. It is that if you have or if the vision is present, even with low resources, we can incorporate and we can test a project out. Collaboration definitely is going to be the key. And this is also what has been talked about with respect to students as well. Because this approach basically talks about teaching learners those practical skills that they would need in the world that is coming forth. That okay, communication is there, collaboration is there, negotiation is there, so all of the things. So again, Nadine, thank you so very much for joining us for today's session. Same goes for everyone else in our audience, Gary. Thank you so much, Aswarya, Marwa, Dr. Mansoor. It was really good to have you with us in today's session. If you have any questions, you can email us or let us know, and then we will address them. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, Marwa. See you next week. Yes, Aswarya, certificates will be there. We will be emailing you in 2 to 3 days. Thank you so much, Dr. Mansoor. See you again. Aswarya, definitely, we would look forward to meeting you again in the coming week. Okay, we can.